Hello children, you all know that the first unit of history is in progress, that is the world during the world wars. We have come up to the League of Nations in the previous class. In the present class, we are going to discuss about the Russian Socialist Revolution, that 1917 to 1922. As you all know, revolutions involve a drastic change in the society, its economic practices, social practices, and political practices also. Let us begin the Russian Revolution. Before the Russian Revolution of 1917, Russia was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II. Tsar Nicholas II and his predecessor Alexander III ruled the country and oppressing the people. They were autocrats. Autocrat means a self-appointed ruler who has all the powers of legislature, executive, and judiciary. All these powers rest with a single self-appointed ruler. Such a rule is known as autocratic rule. There was total censorship on press. No newspaper was allowed to print and circulate the sufferings of the people. Then, Russia was a very vast country. Many of its states had different other languages, but Russian Tsar, particularly Tsar Nicholas II, made Russia as the official language for all the people of his empire. Many of the states of his empire had other official languages, but Tsar Nicholas II made Russian language compulsory for all his states. Next is the persecution of Jews. Jews in Tsar's empire were persecuted. They were killed. They were sent out of the country, or they were sent in jails. And then the next important thing was the gap between the rich and poor. There was a vast gap. Russian society was composed of only two classes: A, the feudal lords, and B, the serfs, that is slaves. A middle class that often forms an important part of the society, also known as the backbone of the society, was almost absent. Russia was a backward nation. Industries were almost non-existent. Agricultural practices were backward. Often there was struggle between peasants and feudal lords for control over land. The feudal lords owned most of the lands, and most peasants paid rent for the land they tilled, that means they used for agriculture. Let us go back to some more points here. Russia was a vast area of land spread over two continents, Europe and Asia. Therefore, it had been called a Euro-Asian power. It had the third largest population in the world, that is 156 millions, after China and India. Now, can you understand? Even in these years, in the beginning of 19th century also, India was the second most populous country of the world, next only to China. So, Russia comprised of several nations like Russia, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, etc. The livelihood of most Russians came from agriculture. As I explained to you, there was always a struggle between the peasants and feudal lords because all the land of Russia was under the control of the feudal lords. Tsar Nicholas II ruled over his vast Russian empire with the help of army and bureaucracy. Now you must know the meaning of bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is a group of non-elected people who run a government by making complicated rules. Such a group of helpers who rule the autocrat is known as bureaucrat. So, but the Russian economy, which had suffered a lot by the First World War, Russian economy was already a backward economy. But Russia plunged into the First World War without thinking about the consequences of the war, the finances involved in the war, all those things Russia did not estimate. Simply it plunged into the First World War. One thing here it is to be noted that the Russian army was the largest in the world before the World War I. Yet by 1917, Russia had lost the lives of 2 million soldiers and civilians. It became the biggest loser of human lives. Amount of food was also supplied to the war front during the war. This led to the shortage of food in the cities. On March 8, 1917, around 10,000 women of the capital, St. Petersburg, took out a procession demanding peace and bread. Male workers also joined them in this protest. Tsar Nicholas II was really upset by these protests. He ordered the army to suppress the demonstrators even by firing at them. Instead of firing at the demonstrators, the soldiers also joined the demonstrators. In just 2 days, the situation became so bad that the Tsar left his throne and fled away to England. Russians made a provincial government. This was the first revolution of 1917 and it was called as the March Revolution. Here one important thing is to be noted. The Russian calendar is 13 days behind the international calendar, that is the Christian calendar. That is why this first revolution of Russia is generally known as the March Revolution, but Russians call it as February Revolution because it took place on 25th and 26th of it took place on 8th and 9th of March. But it according to 8th and 9th of March according to international calendar, but according to the Russian calendar, it took place on according to Russian calendar, this first revolution took place on 23 and 24 February. That is why Russians call it February Revolution. On March 8th, a bigger revolution took place later on 7th and 8th November according to Christian calendar. But according to the Russian calendar, it took place on 25th and 26th October. Hence the Russians call it October Revolution of 1917. And it was not spontaneous. Spontaneous means it was not in a natural way. It was a planned revolution. How did it happen? The liberals and aristocrats ruled Russia after the abdication of the Tsar. Abdication means after Tsar left Russia and fled away to England. The liberals and aristocrats decided to continue the war to save the honor of Russia. They did not understand that Russians were suffering a lot. They did not have food to eat. but they decided to continue the war. This was a blunder that they have made. The common people were tired of the military action and economic shortage and did not want the war to be continued. They began organizing themselves in councils which were called Soviets. These Soviets of soldiers, industrial workers, and people in rural areas were united by a group of Russian Communist Party called the Bolshevik Party or the Bolsheviks. These groups represented the common people's power. Vladimir Lenin, 1870 to 1924, page number 168. Lenin was the leader of the Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks were able to get the support of the Soviets because they demanded for immediate and unconditional peace. They also demanded that all the land that was hitherto occupied by the feudal lords should be nationalized and redistributed to the peasants. Bolsheviks wanted control over prices and nationalization of all factories and banks. What do you mean by nationalization? Nationalization means all the banks and factories should come under the direct control of the government. The Soviets under the Bolshevik leadership seized power from the provincial government. We have seen that a provincial government was formed by liberals and aristocrats. So, the leader of the Bolsheviks, that is Lenin, seized power from the provincial government in October-November 1917. They immediately took steps to end the war and redistributed land. Russia could not return to complete peace because a civil war was started. Let me explain to you the meaning of civil war. Civil war means a war between groups of people in the same country. This is called civil war, or a war between opposing groups of citizens of the same country. Who are the two opposing groups? Majority of the Russians wanted nationalization of factories, banks, and also land. Majority of the people wanted this. But there were some people in Russia, some citizens of Russia, who wanted the capitalist type of government. They wanted that the land, factories, and banks should be under the control of the private individuals. These people were in minority. So, a civil war broke out. In this civil war, the minorities were helped by Britain, France, USA, and Japan. Now, why do you think these countries helped the people who supported capitalism? Because these countries, Britain, France, USA, and Japan, are capitalist countries where individuals owned land, factories, banks, etc. But in Russia, a total new type of society was going to be formed. This civil war was led by white armies of Russian monarchists. Monarchists, the rulers, the feudal lords. The feudal lords helped this white army, but it did not last long. They were all defeated by 1920. The Bolsheviks also announced the end of the Russian Empire and permitted the various nations under it to become independent. However, gradually most of the nations that came under the empire of the Tsar agreed to join the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic USSR, which was set up by the Soviet government of Russia in 1922. This started a great experiment of building a country without exploiters like feudal lords, kings, or capitalists. The USSR tried to build a society that was industrialized and yet modern and did not have inequality or exclusion of people on the basis of birth, gender, language, etc.